Hi, welcome to the Cutesy Shelf. My name is DM. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the fun things that you can do with the mini book die set that comes from the KSCRAFT store. These projects in particular were created using the larger die set, which looks like this. And if you were to buy this die set now, it does actually come with a backing piece for this piece. And the die does create a book that looks like this, which measures 3 inches tall by 2 3/8 of an inch wide. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 3 different things that you can make. So one of the things I'm going to be showing you is how to make a trinket box. And here's one in a little twin stars theme where I decorated the top and bottom of the box as well as the sides. And then I did make another one in a strawberry shortcake theme, which looks like this. And again, I did decorate the top as well as the bottom and the inside. So you can put some goodies in these. And then in my other video, I did make a file folder, which looks like this. It's a little file folder to hold like a number of books here. So I'm going to show you how to make it so that you can hold as many books as you wish. And then this little file folder in particular was made using a die, and it's a tag pocket die. Let me just show you what that looks like here. So this is what the die looks like. It did come with more pieces, and in particular, I just used these two. This one was used to make the sides, and then this is a layering piece. And I will put a link to it in the description box below in case you wanted to make a file folder like this for yourself. And but in today's video, we're going to be making a file folder from scratch, which looks like this. And the only difference is that the side has a straight edge here, and then this one is in a little twin stars theme. And then the third thing that I'm going to be showing you how to make is a little booklet, like a mini booklet. And here's one in a little twin stars theme. Where it's going to have a front as well as back cover, and then pages on the inside so that you can put images or even photos. So that's one example. And then here's another one in a sewing theme. And then you don't necessarily have to have the die to make these projects. You can make your own book covers. And then also, I just wanted to let you know that if you wanted to skip to a certain project, I'm going to put a timestamp for each of the projects in the description box below. Okay, and so we're going to start the tutorial now. To make the mini booklet, you would need a front cover as well as a back cover. So I did decorate mine off camera, and then for each of my covers, I did layer it with foam board just to make it more sturdy. And if you don't have foam board, you can also just use cardstock, like 110 cardstock. And then I did layer the inside pages as well because I really like the finished look. So for example, this is what it would look like with the inside layered. I mean, it is a small border, so that is totally up to you if you want to do that. And then next, we're going to decide how many pages you want in your booklet. So for example, my booklet has 6 pages. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then to cut the pages, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut 2 pieces of paper. So the first one is going to measure 2 3/4 by 4 5/8. So that is the first one. And then next, you're going to need to cut another piece that measures 2 3/4 by 4 3/4. Okay, and then I also did that off camera just to save time. So once you have your 2 pieces, what we're gonna do is we're gonna score each of these at 2 1/4 on each side. So 2 1/4, and then you just take your paper, flip it, and score at 2 1/4, and do the same thing for the other piece here. Score at 2 1/4 as well. 2 1/4. And then we're just gonna take our we're gonna take our bone folder and fold this. So here's a tip: if you don't want your paper to crack, what we're gonna do is, since we scored on this side, we're gonna flip it over and then fold it on the other side. That way you don't get cracks on those fold lines. And you just take your bone folder to burnish this so that you get a really nice crease. So we're gonna do that to both of the pieces of paper here. Fold and crease. Okay, and then next what we're gonna do is with the piece of paper with a smaller spine here, because you're gonna see one is thicker than the other. So with the skinny little one over here, we're gonna add glue to this spine here. So I'm just gonna grab my liquid glue here and then add some glue to it. Okay, and then we're gonna take this and we're gonna layer it onto the center of this spine that we have on this other piece of paper here. So you can just eyeball this. And then just make sure it's in the center. And then that is our little booklet already. So if you wanted to add more pages, right, what you're gonna need to do is, I'll just give you the measurement for that. So if you wanted to have 10 pages, you would need to cut another piece that measures 2 3/4 by 4 7/8. So basically the 2 3/4 would be the height of our pages here. And then what you're doing is you're just adding 1/8 of an inch to the previous measurement. So that's how, if you wanted to add like another few pages, that's what you would do for that piece here. So now that we have our inside pages here, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna grab our front and back cover, and then we're just gonna glue these onto the inside. So it's that simple. So I like to use liquid glue. And then just add this and then line it up to the back here, the spine, and make sure that everything looks good before you press down. And it's that simple. So that would be the back here. That would be the front, I mean. And then you just add glue and add the back cover. And then just line it up so that the covers are parallel. And then this piece lines up to the back here. Okay, and that's all there is to making the booklet. Once the booklet is done, you could also add a charm to the spine if you wish. And to do that, all I did is I punched a 1/8 inch hole to the spine there. And then just added a charm. You could add some ribbon to decorate the spine of the book. And then I also wanted to give you the measurement for the layering pieces on the inside of the pages here. So if you wanted to layer them right and give them like a little border, this is the measurement you would use. So it would be 2 1/8 inch across by 2 5/8 inch. Okay, and that's all there is to this little mini booklet. To make the little trinket box, you're gonna need a book cover for the lid of your box, as well as for the bottom of the box. And if you're gonna decorate the cover on the bottom, just remember that the book only goes one way here, so the spine should be on the one side here, the left side. And so just keep that in mind when you're decorating the bottom of the box. And also because the top of the box is bigger than the bottom of the box, we're gonna start with the top of the box. That way we don't get confused here. So in order to make the top of the box, what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to cut a strip of paper that measures 10 1/4 inches by 1 1/4 inch. So I've gone ahead and done that off camera here. I have my strip of paper, and then I'm gonna take the strip of paper and then put it onto my score board here, and we're gonna score at 1 inch all the way down. And then now we're gonna flip this onto the 1¼ inch, the 10¼ inch side here. And we're gonna score it at 1/4 inch, 3 inches, 5 1/4 inch, as well as 8 inch. Okay, and next what we're gonna do is, okay, so we have this piece here like this, and then we're just gonna turn it around like this, and we're gonna cut off some of the bulk on this piece of paper. So I'm gonna start with this side over here with the one crease side here, and we're just gonna go like this and cut off the bulk so that it looks like that. And then for each of these score lines here, we're gonna cut a slit on each of them. And then we're gonna cut off the bulk on each side. So we're gonna, basically it's gonna look like a little V here. That way we don't end up with a wonky looking box. So you're gonna do that for each of those sides where there's a slit. And then at the end here, you're also gonna cut off a piece of the bulk here. And I'm just gonna turn this over here like this and just cut it like this. And then now it's just a matter of folding and creasing. So again, I'm just gonna flip this over and fold and crease everything. And then we're gonna fold all the score marks here. Okay, and we should end up with something that looks like this. And next what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need to cut 2 pieces of paper that measure 2 3/4 inches by 2 5/16 of an inch. Okay, and I did that off camera. So I have my 2 pieces here. So I'm gonna take one piece for now, and then I'm just gonna start gluing these like pieces to the piece of paper here, starting over here. So I'm gonna add my liquid adhesive and start gluing them. Okay, and I'm gonna do this off camera just to save time. So that is the first flap here, and then we just go around and glue the rest here. So I'm just gonna do this off camera. So once you had that entire strip of paper glued to that piece of paper, it should look like this with the flaps on the inside here. And then the little 1/4 inch flap that was hanging off should be on the inside of the box as well. So I hope you can see that here. I'm just gonna let it focus for a second. And then what you're gonna do next is we're gonna take that other piece of paper that we cut out, and then this is gonna be layered onto the inside here. And then to do that, we're just gonna cut off a sliver off of 2 sides here. So one on the long side and then one on the shorter side. Okay, I cut it on one side here and then just the other. So you just cut off a little sliver that looks like this. And then now we're just gonna take our liquid glue, add it to this piece here so that we could layer the inside of our box here, just to make it a little bit more sturdy. So it should look like this. Okay, and then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add liquid adhesive here and then adhere it to the book cover. Just gonna grab our book cover and then just gonna make sure this is in focus here. And then we're just gonna glue this to this piece here. And then when you put it down, don't press everything right away. Just make sure everything looks centered and the way you want it to. Okay, so that, and then once it looks good, you just press down on the glue. And so that is it for the top of the lid here. And then while this is gonna dry, we're gonna start on the bottom of our lid. So the top of our lid is now done. To make the bottom of the box, you're gonna need to cut a strip of paper that measures 9 3/4 inches by 1.5 inch. So I done that off camera, so I have my strip here, and we're gonna take it and put it onto our scoreboard, and where we have the 1.5 inch side over here, we're gonna score it at 1 1/4 inch all the way down. So 1 1/4 inch. Okay, and then we're just gonna turn this over onto the 9 3/4 inch side here, like this. We're gonna score at 1/4 inch, as well as 2 7/8, so that would be right here. 5 inches, as well as 7 5/8. So 7 5/8 would be here, just right after the 7.5. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing to this piece of paper here. We're gonna cut off the bulk here. So we're gonna start with this side that has the little 1/4 inch flap here, and just cut off the bulk again. And we're gonna cut the slits on each of the score marks here. And cut off the bulk. Over here as well. And then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just fold and crease all the lines. Okay, and so our piece should look like this. And then now you just have to cut the 2 pieces on the inside here for our lid here. And so these 2 pieces are gonna measure 2 1/8 inch by 2 5/8 of an inch. So I did do that off camera. I have my 2 pieces here, and then we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna glue these flaps to these 2 pieces. Okay, and I'm gonna do that off camera just to save time. So once we have the bottom of the box done, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take that other piece of paper, we're gonna cut off a little bit on each of the sides here. So one on the shorter side, and cut a sliver off, and then cut a sliver off on the longer side. Add our liquid adhesive or whatever you want, and then just glue this to the inside of the box, just to make it more sturdy. Okay, and then we're gonna add liquid adhesive on the other side, and then we're just gonna glue on the bottom cover of our box. And then just make sure it's like this. And then at this point, before I press down on the glue, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in the top of our box here and then go like this, just to make sure that everything lines up before you press down on the glue here. And then just eyeball it so that it all looks like even and centered. And then that is pretty much it. And then next, if you wanted to decorate the side panels of your little trinket box, you could do that as well. And Normally I like to take off a 1/16 of an inch. Like I leave a 1/16 of an inch border, but that is totally up to you. So our box is pretty much done now. So this is the top here, and it just goes over the bottom of our trinket box just like that. So that is it for this little trinket box, and it should look like this. For this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make the file folder from scratch, which looks like this one here on the right. So it's going to have the straight line here on the side, and so it's going to look like this. And then the way that I made this center piece here that goes all the way to the front here, if you already have the die that makes this file folder, the way that I created the center here can totally be applied to this die, as it's going to be the same measurements. So if you already have this die and you just wanted to know how to do the center part, you can fast forward to that. But now we're going to start on how to make this file folder. And to make this, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut 2 pieces of paper that measures 3 1/8 of an inch by 3 1/4 inch. So I already cut my pieces off screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to take one of those pieces and we're going to put it on our scoreboard here with the 3 1/8 inch side across here, and we're gonna take our bone folder and we're gonna score at 1/4 inch, and then we're gonna flip this so that we can score it at 1/4 inch on this side as well, and then just flip it onto the 3 1/4 inch side and just score at 1/4 inch on just on one side. Okay, so we're gonna have a piece that looks like this. And what we're gonna do is from here, I'm just gonna go in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what we're gonna do is from this piece right here, we're gonna measure 1 1/2 inches up. So I'm just gonna grab my ruler, and then from that point here, I'm gonna measure 1 1/2 inches and make a little mark here. And then I'm just gonna join that dot to this part over here where the folded line is, sorry, where the score line is. So I'm just gonna connect those 2 dots there. Okay, so it should look like this. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut on that pencil mark. So I'm gonna grab my scissors. Okay, and so we have this now. And then we're gonna also cut the bulk off. So we're gonna cut off on this side, which looks like that. And then at the bottom here, just cut on the angle here. So it should look like this. And then we're gonna cut the bulk off on that side as well. So just go like this. And then you should get a piece that looks like this. Okay, and then we are also gonna do the same thing on with the other piece as well. So we're gonna take the other piece, make sure it's at 3 1/8 of an inch over here. Sorry about that, I'm just gonna zoom out here. So we have the 3 1/8 inch side at the top there. We're gonna score at 1/4, flip this over, score at 1/4, turn this, and then score at 1/4. So basically we're scoring at 1/4 inch on 3 sides, and then also measuring 1 1/2 inches up from this spot right here. And then just grab your ruler and measure 1 1/2 inches. And then connect that line to this dot. And we're just gonna cut that. And then do the same thing down here. We're gonna cut off the bulk pieces here. So I hope you can see that. And we're just gonna cut it like this, and then like this. And then over on this side, same thing. Just gonna go a little bit closer so you can see a little bit better here. So cut it at an angle and then cut the bulk off. So it should look like this. And then now we're gonna fold on these score lines here. So for this one, we're just gonna go like this. Take our bone folder and crease. Okay, so that is one side already, and then you just grab the other one, and then make sure that these fold in towards each other. So for example, you have this one here, and then so for this one, we're gonna fold it inwards like this so that we can make our two sides. So that is the sides of our file folder, and then now we just have to make the centerpiece. The thickness of your file folder is really going to depend on how many books you want to put into your file folder. So what I would recommend is decorating your books ahead of time so that when you stack them together like this, you're going to know exactly how thick your file folder needs to be. But there is one thing that's consistent, which is the measurement of this strip that goes around here. And that measurement is going to be 7 1/8 of an inch. So it's going to be that measurement times the thickness that you need. So for this example, I'm going to be using 3/4 of an inch. So I've cut my strip off camera here. So I have, so what we're going to do is on the 7 1/8 inch side here, just going to place it like this here, and I'm going to grab my bone folder and we're going to score it at 3 inches as well as 5 5/8. So that would be right here. And then so this is, and then you're going to fold those and then fold and crease, and that's basically it. And then you're just going to take this and glue it to the other two side pieces here like this. But before we glue that, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these pieces and create a template so that we could make a layering piece for the sides of our file folder here. And to do that, sorry about that, the camera was out of focus for a moment. So to make a template, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our side pieces and fold the flaps in like this. And then I did this ahead of time. So basically what you do is you put this onto a scrap piece of paper and then you trace around it, which I've gone ahead and done. Okay, and then once you trace it, it's gonna look like this. And then we're gonna make it slightly smaller so that it has a border around it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna measure 1/8 of an inch up from here and from the bottom, and then make a line. And then on each of these sides, you're gonna measure in 1/16 of an inch. So I did that over here, and then I measured inwards 1/16 of an inch here. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cut that off now. So I'm just gonna grab my scissors, and so that we're only left with the layering piece here. That way you can use this as a template and you don't have to measure it again. And if you wanted to make more file folders, you have this template to work with. So that would be your template for your layering piece, and you would just put that aside. And then now all we have to do is glue our file folder together. Okay, and then now we're just gonna add our liquid adhesive. And then now you just add your layering pieces. I'm also gonna give you the layering pieces for the back of the file folder here, which is gonna be 5/8 of an inch by 2 7/8 of an inch. And then for the front here, it's gonna be 5/8 of an inch by 1 3/8 of an inch. So once you layer it, all you have to do is decorate your file folder. And that concludes the tutorial for the mini file folder. So that concludes the tutorial for the little trinket box. And for the little trinket box, I will put the measurements for the layering pieces on the sides of the box here in the description box below. And then we made our little mini book, and I already decorated my book here. And then also we made the little file folder. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I thank you so much for trying these out, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye.